Hey everyone, welcome to the second lecture of this course. I am so sorry I haven't uploaded in so long, to be precise 4 months, because, well, I'm busy with school stuff. Thank you for the compliment, I am indeed a school kid. And so moving on, as I've told you in the previous lecture, this lecture we're going to be talking about conditional statements. So conditional statements are essentially just, well, telling your program what to do, and this is the syntax for it, and you're also wondering what these are. I'll explain these in a moment, but first we're coming here. So if it's pretty self-explanatory, if a condition is true, I'll do this, the program says. Else if another condition is true, I'll do something else. If none of these are true, I'm going to be doing something completely different. And this is essentially what the program is saying, or what the program basically does in conditional statements. And side notes, two side notes actually, you can have as many Elif statements as you want. And if you notice, I've included an indent or a tab space here, like a bit of spaces. Do not remove this when you're writing. So if, let's say, a equals a, you see it automatically indents. Do not remove that space. Just keep writing, and if you want to write something outside, you just, well, do this. Because if you don't write anything here, it's going to return an error. It's better to an indent block. But it expects some code here. I think you get the point. And so, coming back to these are operators. As you've noticed, I've used one of these here. The equal sign. Now, why not just what? This is to represent, by the way, that this side is equal to this side. I use two equal signs here because, well, one equal sign is just used for introducing variables. And so this is the correct way for doing a comparison with operations, but this is not. And if you don't mind me, this is a correct way of introducing variables, but this is not. There's a difference. And why do I sense lightning? Anyway, so here, if let's say if a or 1 equals 1, print 1. Elif, remember we can have as many Elif blocks as we want. 1 is less than or equal to 1, print 2. Thank you, AI. Elif 1 is greater than or equal to 1, print 3. Thank you again, AI. Elif 1 is, let's say, greater than 1, print 4. Elif 1 is less than 1, print, sorry about that, print 5. And so if none of these are true, else print 6. And so which ones do you think is this going to print? If you said 1, congratulations, you are correct. If you said anything of the below, I'll explain why. It's not. So listen, we've said that else statements mean that if the previous condition was not true, it'll do this. But if the previous condition was true, all of these will be ignored. However, if you convert them all to if statements again, and yes, you can totally do that, but it'll give you different results. So which ones do you think? I notice I said ones, so it's gonna print multiple. Keep that in mind. Which ones is it gonna print? If you guessed anything other than 1, 2, and 3, well, why is there? Ignore that one. I really don't know why that summoned there. let's just delete that. 1, 2, and 3. There you go. Because you see, 1 is indeed equal to 1, so it's going to print 1. 1 is less than 1 is not less than but equal to 1, so it's going to print 2. 1 is not greater than but equal to 1, so it's going to print 3. However, 1 is not greater than 1 or less than 1, so it's not going to print these two. I hope you've understood all that yapping from me, and so I'm going to delete everything here because, well, hope you memorized it. Okay, so here I'm gonna give you a challenge, but first things first, I'm gonna give you a template, just because I'm, well, the kindest teacher you've ever seen. Probably the most stuttering. Inputs, enter your name. If A equals John, and one of the two, well, external things I'm gonna be mentioning here is lower. Lower basically, well, makes all the characters in a string lowercase. So if A was equal to this, let's say, it will automatically set it to this. Hope you got the point. So if A equals John, no, this is all lowercase, print, and his name was John Cena. Just for some emphasis. Elif. A equals Larit. Print. Sub plus like to close academy. Else print a stranger freak. For example, no rudeness intended here, it's just some jokes. Enter your name. Let's try my name. Sub plus like to Codes Academy, which I hope you'll do. Enter your name. John. And his name was John Cena. I really hope you're not thinking I'm cringe. I'm not. And if we input anything other than that, like, hey, stranger freak. And my first challenge that I'm going to be giving you in this video is that I want you to add a condition where A, or the input of the user, is equal to Taylor. It can be, you can print whatever you want. I'm just going to be printing one thing. But if you print something completely different, that's totally okay, as long as if you count the logic. So I'll pause the video and, pause the video right now and have a go at it, and when you're done, return here so that we both check our answers. Alright, and I hope you've noticed my grammatical issues here. Taylor. I think someone's outside my house. Friends. OMG, it's Taylor Swift. Big fan. Just a comment for clarity here. Shift F10 as I've explained the last video. Enter your name. Taylor. OMG, it's Taylor Swift. Big fan. So I've hoped, another grammatical issue, I hope you've got in all of these correct. Sorry, I've kind of gotten my voice crack. And, well, I have, surprisingly, another challenge in the row for you. So A equals int of inputs. Enter a number. So the next challenge, and by the way, change this to float. So these functions just basically convert whatever's inside here to a float. So your second challenge is to compare or to tell the program to do this conditional statement or check these conditions. If a is greater than or equal to a certain number, say 5, it will print something out. If it's less than or equal to 5, it'll print something else out. If it's, or actually, like, make them all greater than, less than, instead of greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. If it else if it's equal to 5, print something. And I'm not gonna ask you to pause the video from here. I'm just gonna ask you to put everything down or put your answers in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Happy New Year. I am recording this at 12:13 a.m. Yes, you can tell how tired I am. And again, Happy New Year. Very late Christmas. Subscribe and like to Codes Academy, and I'll see you in the next one.